Hey, just for you, just for me, just for you, just for me. Anyway, I hope you're all fantastic on this Wednesday evening, Thursday evening. Bish bash bosh. Always do a wrong one, don't I? It's just to keep it real, because it is real, Thursday. Thank you. So we've got some more questions. I will try and answer them. I will try and keep on subject and not go off a bit ski with. If you are watching, please like, please subscribe. I beg you, because I'm looking for you lot to help me. So with no further ado, I'll shut up rabbiting and let the lady do.
Good evening, Dante.
Good evening. Good evening.
The first question I have for you this evening is, when you were using, did you experience any physical problems due to your alcohol and drug use?
Physical. Yeah, lots of physical problems. Usually the mental state. Secondly, I have to be honest and open and transparent with you guys, and the reality is I'd go out for one and I'd wake up in some really obscene places, and yeah, we can all have a laugh and a joke about waking up next to a woman, not knowing who she was because you just in the back and want to chew your arm off and slip away quietly. But the reality is that was probably the best thing that did happen to me in the worst situation. I used to wake up on park benches, middle of intersections of busy roads. So there were plenty of times that I woke up in a hospital and jail cells as well, and to answer that question, if that isn't a wake up call, I don't know what is really. And a bit more flesh on the bone. 12-step program talks about jails, institutions and death. Well, jail is an institution and so is a nut house. So what else you got left?
Yeah.
So that answered that question?
It most certainly does.
I hope it answered your question.
Did you obsess about drugs when you didn't have any?
The greatest obsession. The mind, the body, the allergy I have. Very good question. See, I have an obsessive mind. So when I'm not drinking and using, I'm thinking about drinking and using. If that isn't sufficient enough, then I start thinking about ways and means to get more, or how to blag, bend, bullshit, lie, cheat to get it. Now, for those that are listening and those that do listen to this after it's been posted, if you're an addict, or you're worrying, or you possibly could be, or you're having that thought process that maybe you're doing a bit too much, the obsessive mind. This is how I can put it across. The only best way I know to explain it, and that is, I pick up the phone. I make the call. Yeah, bruv. Yeah. Is it snowing? Yeah. Right. I want the one. So I've just ordered the 1 gram. I'm now satisfied in my mind, but then I go through a chain of events that I need to go through with you. My mouth will go instantaneously dry, like the bottom of a birdcage, a really dry mouth. Then I get this palpitation and heart pounding in my chest, and it's like excitement. It's like all my Christmases are coming together. And then sorry to be so graphic, I want to shit, I want to dump. My ass does what we call the starfish. So if you've gone through that process, you may or may not have a problem. Because what I need to acknowledge for you is, as for me, is I hadn't even put the substance into me. That's the power of this mind, the obsessive mind. So before I've even put anything into me, I've made the call and I'm having my body screaming at me with a reaction, which is what I understand today is an allergic reaction. There's lots of us that are allergic to things that we like. However, that was my obsessive mind. And once I did it, it was it was a trickery. It was a master of mirrors and screens. You know, it would tell me it would do this, and then in reality it wasn't. Because once I put it in me, I just couldn't stop, and I'd carry on and carry on and carry on, trying to get that first feeling back, which I never got. So if that's an understanding of an obsessive mind, you know, that's what I went through, and I hope that helps you to understand. It's not really about the drink or the drug; it's how it affects me obsessively. Think. Crazy membrane.
So, did you experience financial difficulties when using?
Yeah, never had enough money. Couldn't afford it, but I still found the money to do it. Yeah, financial. There's always financial ruin. You know, you get a set amount of money weekly. However, the days you get paid weekly. And 99.9% of the time I would say, yeah, well, I've calculated that money for my rent. But if I could hold off on paying me rent, I could spend that money on that much gear, and then I'd buy that much gear, and then I could make some money off that, and then be in profit, and then still have enough for me. And the result was never happened like that. Never get high on your own supply. Yeah. So yeah, financial ruin. I had a lot, which caused depression, which, you know, it made me a bottom feeder, if you like, because, you know, my self-esteem, my self-worth, my self-belief, because I just couldn't understand why at the end of a hard work sort of week, when I was working, that wage packet would just disappear into, you know, when it got bad, it would just disappear into the drug dealer's money pot, you know, and then I'd get on tick again and just carry on through that week on tick, only to carry on that week and then spend that money I'd been working. So I was a slave to it. And if you're sitting there going, well, that hasn't happened to me, just remember the word yet.
So, and when you went through periods of not using, did you find it hard to sleep?
Sleep's for pussies, isn't it, really? If you sleep, you might lose something. You might miss something. So sleep wasn't really. Was very sleep deprived, and that's where a lot of my psychosis came from. And yeah, seeing things and hearing things that weren't necessarily there. Sleep deprived. That's what happens. Because, you know, our genetics is that we're awake 12 hours. We're supposed to be asleep 12 hours or thereabouts, give or take, you know, 10 hours, 9 hours. Some people sleep for 5. You know, we've all got to find our biorhythms, you know, and you know, I used to quite enjoy not sleeping for 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days. And then I'd comatose and sleep for 2 days.
That's really strange.
Well, yeah. But, you know, such is life.
Did you ever steal money or drugs from friends or family?
Of course, yeah, I always steal, you know, and, you know, stealing in the commodity that you and I understand, theft. I'm not proud of it, but it is part of it. One of the things that I didn't acknowledge that I stole quite a lot of, and that was peace of mind of people that loved and cared for me. They really didn't understand that, because of the simple fact I'm so selfish and self-seeking. I was always thinking about me and what I needed. I didn't consider anyone else. And you know, with hindsight and with 20 years of sobriety, I can look at my mum now and realise that she's getting younger, even though she's getting older, because she hasn't got that worry and fear that her phone's going to ring at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, your son's in the morgue. So stealing money and you know, things. That's what cash converters were made for, wasn't it? You know, we didn't steal. We just borrowed from people we knew we could get away with it. Take it down there, cash it in, and then give you the receipt. It wasn't theft, was it? Well, it was, but in my mindset, I was just borrowing it to get the money.
When you did that, were you high on drugs, or were you under the influence of alcohol, so that made your mind think that you were borrowing it, when in actual fact you were stealing it?
See, it's a really good question, that. And people that watch this, and you may think, I don't know what you're thinking, but it's been proven scientifically now, the central cortex of part of our brain, the decision making for yes, no, right, wrong, is actually determined to shut down when you're under the influence. And when we're craving for the next hit, it's not functioning, it's misfiring. So to say that my head was telling me this, that, and the other, it wasn't. I didn't not necessarily care. It was the simple factor that I needed what I needed, and I needed it now. So it wasn't, and I think that's why some break into people's houses and rampage, because they're not thinking sensibly. They're sick. They're just looking for that ease and comfort at once. The hit is received, they get their ease and comfort. The washing machine brain stops.
Okay. So when you think, okay, I'm gonna get some drugs, or I'm gonna drink a bottle of whatever, do you get like a feeling of anticipation, real feeling of high before you actually use?
Good question. As I digress what I was saying before, I believe that is the necessity of the high. I over years of trying to work out the whys, the whats, and the wherefores because of why I drank and used. It was that moment of clarity that, for those that are watching, this is the only way I can describe it. But it was very temporary.
And when you did use, did you have the same effect every time, or were you craving that effect? Did you actually reach it?
No, I never. I think, and it's hard for me to say this, and this is my experience, and been in the fellowships for 20 years, and digressing, we say jails and institutions and death. I think those that are fortunate enough or brave enough to pursue that ultimate high don't get the chance to tell us about it. They die from it because it's so. I mean, I've often shared this, and it's not out of ego. It's out of being humble enough to be honest with you guys, and that is, if whatever I did, I was a sort of an upper person. But if it took me down, that didn't matter either. But I always remember lots of drug experiences that, in that moment of having that effect, not the effect, the effect coming to it, that fear and anxiety of shit, I'm going to die, and then this taking over and going, well, if you don't die, I'm going to do this again, instantaneously, with a balance of that. So if you can relate to that, welcome, because that's the mind of an addict, I think. So to digress into the question, do I believe that you get? I got the same relation. No, I didn't. Alcohol has always hit the spot. Oblivion. It does exactly what it says on the bottle. I can drink a bottle of scotch and I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be sick and I'm going to hit oblivion very quickly. But a lot of drug addicts and a lot of drug takers will drink alcohol, not really realizing that they're not going to get the same high as they did from the drugs, but they will chase to the alcohol because it's cheap, it's readily available, and it does exactly what it says on the bottle. And it takes away that obsession or sort of thought process of wanting that rather than this. So we always have, they talk about cannabis being a gateway drug. At the end of the day, if you're smoking cannabis, skunk, and you turn up to your local dealer and he hasn't got any skunk, but he's got a bit of this, there are a small percentage of people that will go, yeah, I'll try a bit of that. You'll get the vast majority of people that say, no, thank you very much, or wait till you get your skunk. So is it a gateway drug for those that are wired the way I am? Yeah, without a doubt, they'll try it because they want something to get out of the, how do I put it, the necessities of life. They want the reality of life's too hard. They want an escape.
So escape route.
Yeah, they want some ease and comfort. They just want to,
So when you did your drugs, did you sort of, where did you take them? Did you take them in your car, at work, in a bathroom, public toilet, or anything?
Everywhere.
Oh, okay.
You say car.
Yeah.
Car in them days. I'm not proud of it. I would drive no insurance, no tax, no MOT, because it was a means to get me where I needed to get you. It was no PR then, and what leaded me to say that was that the risk got too great for driving a car, so I sold the car for more drugs. So then I couldn't use in a car. So you'd use friends' houses, nightclubs, toilets. Used to be queues outside the cubicles. Because everyone, they weren't using it for a toilet, they were using it to rack up, and that was just standard. Pub bars, wine bars, use the back of your hand, use a mobile phone screen. There's lots of, CD rack, whatever, fag packet. There's lots of ways you can administer certain substances into your body without having loads of paraphernalia. And obviously there's crack houses and drug houses that you can pick up your drug and use it and share it and feel okay.
Okay. And was it later on in your drug use that you started to use on your own, or did you do that from day one?
I'm a greedy person. So I was okay to share it with you as long as the understanding was that when you had some, you'd share it with me. And what I found out is that everyone's as greedy as I am. And I was stupid enough to share it with you. And then when you got it, you wouldn't share it with me. So then I was like, there'd be a fight. And slowly but surely I became antisocial. So I was being antisocial anyway. And the antisocial places that I used to frequent weren't letting me in, which was really strange. They're the worst of the worst. But they were saying, you ain't coming in here. You're a problem. You cause grief. And I was just going, well, hang on, Albert used with me yesterday and was quite happy to delve into my bit of gear. Now he's picking up today and he doesn't want me in there because he wants it all for himself. So that then retracted. So I was going, right, well, fuck you lot, I'm going to do it all on my own. Which is dangerous because you can OD and not even have someone there for it.
So did you ever feel that with all your drug use and the things how it damages your brain and everything, did you ever feel that people were talking about you or watching you?
Yeah, that's what they call paranoia. Yeah. I mean, I used to get that quite a lot. Smoking and roll a spliff, smoke it, instantaneous paranoia. People in the walls, people in, outside. There was always someone talking about me. My ears were burning. I knew exactly who it was. That has to do with,
you thought you did.
Well, exactly. Thought. I'm talking about the brain. How powerful this is when we're full flight from reality. That isn't making an excuse. It's just trying to put it out there that drug addicts and addicts periodically are sick people. Not bad. And we as a society, because of what we're bred to believe, because of the media that's out there, go back to President Reagan days. Just say no. We were saying at school, just say blow, which was another reason for smoking cannabis. And, later on, a lot of them people that were in Grange Hill that went and met President Reagan and Nancy Reagan with a big no policy were all smoking wacky backy anyway. But it was what they were putting out. I mean, if you can cast your mind back and you're of age, around my sort of age, not before 50 or maybe just over 50, whatever, there was a huge television demographic of advertising about HIV and AIDS. And it was very, very scaremongering. It was AIDS, sexual this, blah, blah, blah. And if it was all dark and grey and very melodramatic because they were so fearful of it and there wasn't a cure and it was going to wipe out half the world's race. And it was very much put down through our television. Now, if you look and think about them days and the transition of what we've absorbed from our television programs, radio, media coverage on papers and such, like, you know, forgive me for saying it, you know, Leah Betts, when she died, she didn't actually die from ecstasy. She died from over drinking too much water. She flooded the body. But at that moment, the press made huge ecstasy kills, much like the AIDS thing. You know, you'd be stupid to, you know, try and re-educate people, because those that do drugs know they don't kill. You know, but the status quo, the governments, the police, the customs, all the people that are manufactured in to try and stop this being illegal hasn't stopped it. So when are we as a society, we as a nation, going to wake up and start looking at and readdressing this? We're talking laws that were written in 1970s, 1960s of the Misuse and Forbidden Act. What happened? Here's a question. What happened in America when they did forbidden alcohol? They just pushed it underground. Is alcohol still underground now? No, it's widely available. However, you know, I go off on these tangents because I'm thought provoking. I'm trying to get that thought across, because we as a nation have a duty to look after our children. And if we're going to sit there and say drugs kill, when most of the kids or children or young adults of today and yesterday, they actually know that they don't. You know, I think a couple of years ago we had people dying in festivals, so they closed the festival. All they had to do is start testing the drugs. You know, you wouldn't allow moonshine in in a nightclub, in a festival, because it's not clinically trialed and it's illegal. However, there's alcohol readily available, and that's okay. And alcohol, I think, kills more than any drug, illegal drug on the streets, apart from opiates, obviously, heroin and phenanthal, or phenyl. I can never say the bloody word. Fentanyl. There you go. Which is an epidemic in America presently. And what are we doing about it? Let's talk about it. Why people are dropping down dead. You know, oh, because it's a choice. Let me tell you that alcoholic addicts do not have a choice. They have to. They used to have a choice, but they either sniffed it or drank it, and they didn't know it at that time. And even if they were told right at that moment, you could pinpoint the actual time when they were going to become a sociable drinker, drug user, and from this moment on, you're going to be addicted. They wouldn't listen to you anyway, and still become addicted. So, you know, in respect of that, I know I've gone on a little tangent, but I don't even know what the question was now.
No, you've gone off on a real tangent there. I'm just going to move on to the next question.
Oops. Slap my wrist.
So, did you ever mislead or lie to people about how much you use?
Mislead or lie? Yeah, well, lying's the name of the game, isn't it? But mislead, yeah. Mum, can I borrow a tenner because I haven't got enough electric? You know, yeah, an electric meter. Sure, I mean, Mum, I've got no money for food. I've just been shopping. I've got loads of food, but I've, you know, so I get another tenner. Did I ever pay it back? Did I not? Dad, I need tenner for some baccy or some fags, and I've got 20 quid. You know, Nan, you know, at the time, God bless her soul. Yeah, I need to get a haircut. Didn't.
I take it that was when you had hair.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, you know, there was always a turn or a twist. You know, I always say this, and it is so true, and it's the truth. When I lie to you or you, I'm not actually lying to you. I'm actually lying to me, and then I believe it, and then I cannot differentiate between the truth and the false. And the trouble is with a lying game, you should have a good memory, and that's addicts of shit. You know, referring to the question before about, you know, jobs and such like, and using different places. I distinctly remember being pulled in front of manager at work of one of the jobs I did after not going in on the, because I never went in to work on Monday. That's some mugs, wasn't it? I was still getting over from the weekend. I've been pulled in, HR or whatever you called it then, and why weren't you in work Monday? Oh, Nan died. The person said, how many nans you got? To me, what do you mean? Well, you've had 3 nans die on you already. I can feel the embarrassment coming up. So best form of defence is attack, and you lie upon a lie upon a lie. And we're very convincing. Hence, I didn't get away with it. I did lose the job, but normality and sanity would say to you, stop the drinking and drugging and keep the job. No, I would lose the job and go and carry on drinking and using and find another job.
Were you ever afraid that if you stopped using, you'd not be able to function? That sort of come across your mind?
Plenty of times, because the more you use, the more you need, and that fear of running out. Most of the drugs I did weren't bodily detoxing, but psychologically and mentally, because a habit forming person that I am, it was very difficult, and there was a lot of fear there. Fear was one of my best buddies,
That's all the questions I have for you this evening.
Oh wow! Look, I've done it on 26 minutes.
You've done well tonight.
Right, yeah. So listen, this is an opportunity for you to like and subscribe. I am John J. I am the 100% real deal. Come up 21 years in about, I don't know, what day is it today?
It's the 10th of December.
So tomorrow it'll be 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, 1 day. So it was like 32 days. Approximately. Don't hold me to that because I'm shit at maths. But
on the 11th of January.
The 11th of January, I'm 21, and I'd really like to have a little celebration with you guys because it impresses me. I didn't think I'd do 21 seconds, 21 minutes, 21 hours. Do you know what I mean? I've done 21 years. And if you've got a problem, or of someone that may have a problem, who tries controlling, who doesn't say things and turns up half cut and always blames someone else, get in touch with me, maybe I can help. I've got a wealth of experience, and that's what I'm trying to put across. I'm trying to provoke them thoughts in your head, and and the best thing I can give you is my experience. We talk about, I can't even find it now. Where's my little black book? Anyway, doesn't matter. I have a little black book somewhere around there. And here it is. Right, there you go. And the reason this is so important, this little black book means everything, because it's got every bullshit, twist and turn and lie in it. And anyone that's below me, not below me, who's parallel with me and has been and done what I've done, don't try and bullshit this bullshitter, because I wrote the book. I've got it all in here. And you can't bullshit a bullshitter. Yeah? You can try, but as I said, digressing, the only person you're lying to is yourself. And this is about honesty. I'm here to help. 100% John J. And if you've got a problem with drink or drugs, check in, ask me a question, try and baffle me. I put that request out and challenge to anyone who watches this. I'm crazy, but at least I know it. I tell no one that I'm not, because I know I am. So I'm going to wrap it up, pardon the pun. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like if you do. So God bless. Take care. Until we meet again. Laters, potatoes.